So, what do you do when you, as a woman living in a country that is not the US, meet an American man and decide that you want to get married? And then you decide that you want a divorce, but there's a catch. That's what I want to talk about today. Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Debbie. I'm the She in Sheality TV. But first things first, I primarily talk about reality TV goings on this channel, but I recently started a new channel that is mostly social and lifestyle commentary, and that channel is called Brain Candy. I'll leave the link to that channel in the description box for this video below. Now let's get back to reality. So, like I said in the intro, Natalie is the woman who is not an American, married Mike, the American. They met because they are godparents to a mutual friend's child, okay? So I'm gonna give you a little backstory before I get to the catch. So we all know the story of Mike and Natalie. They met, they communicated online for a while. He went to her country a couple of times to visit her. Then they filed for the K-1 visa because they decided to get engaged, wanted to get married. He gave her a ring, but between the time he gave her the ring and the time that he was ready to leave her country on a visit, she decided that she hated him. They had a huge blow up and she threw his ring back in his face, okay? He left the country with her calling him a monster. All right, fine. Shortly after he got home, she called him to say that her K-1 visa had been approved. Like approved, not just, hey, my K-1 visa has been approved and I can go get the interview now, right? She had already had the interview and they approved the visa, okay? She forgot all about the fact that they were not compatible and that she threw his ring back in his face and said, hey, I'm coming to the US, right? Does he say, no, you're not. We're not a couple anymore. You threw my ring back at me. We ain't a couple. No, he doesn't. He arranges for her flight and has her come to the US. Now, that's the Coles Notes version, okay? On this latest 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After tell-all, Mike and Natalie are doing their usual thing. One thing that I need to mention is that for some reason they bring Mike's mom onto the show. Okay, so you guys all know that I feel like Mike stays on this show. The reason he doesn't like cut Natalie loose is because this is his side hustle, right? I don't care if it's $1,000, $1,500, $2,000. Mike is doing this for the money, okay? There's not a man alive who would put up with Natalie's BS unless he's getting paid to, right? And again, I don't care that $1,500 is not worth it for the rest of us. I would never put up with this for $1,500. I don't know anybody else who would, but for Mike, apparently it's worth it, right? He gets to stay in front of the camera. He's getting that sharp entertainment money. And I believe with my whole heart, that's the only reason that Mike isn't cutting Natalie loose. So on the tell-all, you know, Natalie and his mom get into it. Why his mom is there, again, I don't know. But also her too, looking for a paycheck. Does anybody remember Danielle and Muhammad? Right? Remember way back in the day, Danielle and Muhammad, they were having an issue with Danielle filing a divorce or an annulment, right? If she divorced him, he wouldn't get deported. But if she annulled the marriage, there was a distinct possibility that Muhammad could get deported, right? So he was begging her to divorce him and not annul the marriage. So here's the question that I have for Mike and Natalie. Why is the annulment the same annulment that was on the table for Danielle and Muhammad? Why is that not on the table for them, right? They've not even mentioned getting a divorce, let alone to get the marriage annulled, because if they get the marriage annulled, she could be deported, right? They haven't even spoken about that. So on the tell-all, Mike says, does anybody know a good lawyer? It's like, dude, like as if, right? And then Natalie says that Mike has to file. She can't file for divorce. Mike has to. So that explains a lot. It explains why Mike is so hell-bent on keeping this marriage together, right? He does not want to get a divorce. Why, I don't know. Well, no, I do know. Like I said before, I strongly feel like Mike just wants the check. He wants the check. It's that simple. Like I said before, $1,500, not worth it to me, but apparently it's worth it to him, because there's no way in hell this man feels like this woman loves him. No way. No way. And why he's always so surprised and starts yelling at her when she can't say what she loves about him? Dude, that's because there's nothing she loves about you. She doesn't love you. She can't stand you. She got what she wanted. She got her ring back, and because she got her ring back, you married her. Even though you canceled the wedding the first time, you still ended up marrying her. You should have left the wedding canceled and let her go home, because she was on her way back to the airport when he changed his mind. So I don't think that him changing his mind was about him actually wanting to marry her. I think he changed his mind because he figured out that, you know what, if I don't marry her, we ain't on the show anymore and I'm not getting that money. Plain and simple. And that's also why he won't file for a divorce. He won't. I will be super duper surprised if Mike actually files for a divorce. He didn't even react when she came to get her stuff, telling him that she was going to move in with her psychic friend, or whatever it is, whoever she is, Juliana. No, he didn't react at all. Am I the only one who's completely clued by the fact that Mike has to be the one to file? Who else knew? Anyways, that's all I've got from Mike and Natalie and 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After, the tell-all. It airs Friday on Discovery Plus and Sunday night on TLC. And don't forget to come visit me over on Brain Candy, and I'll see you next time.